Sometimes, the strongest feelings are the ones left unspoken. You might find yourself constantly wondering, does he feel the same way I do? He texts you regularly, remembers the small things you say, always shows up when you need someone. But he never actually says the words out loud. No, I like you. No, I have feelings for you. No direct confession. And that silence can feel confusing, even frustrating. But here's the truth. Just because he hasn't said it, doesn't mean he doesn't feel it. Love, especially the early stages of it, doesn't always begin with a grand declaration. For many men, especially those who are emotionally guarded or afraid of rejection, falling in love is a quiet process. It builds slowly, carefully, behind hesitant smiles, soft glances, and small acts of kindness that often go unnoticed. These men aren't playing games. They're not trying to lead you on. They're just scared. Scared to lose what they have with you, scared of being vulnerable, and scared of saying too much too soon. You see, when a man truly starts falling for someone, his behavior begins to shift in ways he may not even realize. His emotions slip through in subtle, meaningful moments. He becomes more attentive. He remembers your words. He makes space for you in his daily life. And while he may not be ready to say how he feels, his actions begin to speak louder than anything he could put into words. In this video, we're going to uncover 15 real, honest signs that show a man is falling for you, even if he hasn't said it out loud. These aren't cliches or overused dating tips. These are genuine behaviors rooted in emotional truth, the kind of signs you feel more than you see. Because deep down, love is rarely about what's said. It's about presence, effort, consistency, and the way someone shows up for you when it matters the most. Maybe you've been wondering if you're overthinking his actions, or if he's just being nice. Maybe you've been afraid to ask him directly because you don't want to risk what you already have. That's okay. Sometimes the heart knows long before the words come. And the good news? His heart might already be showing you everything you need to know, if you pay close enough attention. So if you've been sensing something deeper, but haven't had the confirmation yet, this is for you. Let's dive into the subtle, powerful, and sometimes surprising signs that a man is falling for you, but is just too scared to say it out loud. 1. He gets nervous around you. When a man is falling for you but is too scared to admit it, one of the clearest signs is that he becomes noticeably nervous around you. This nervousness doesn't come from fear of you, but rather from the weight of his own emotions and the desire to make a good impression. He might struggle to maintain eye contact, fidget with his hands, or seem unusually quiet or awkward in moments where he usually appears confident with others. It's not that he lacks confidence in general. It's that your presence triggers something deeper in him. The nervous energy comes from the internal conflict he feels. On one hand, he wants to get closer, to speak freely, to let you know how much he cares. On the other hand, he's afraid of rejection, afraid of misreading your feelings, and terrified of ruining whatever bond you already share. That emotional tension builds up and leaks through his behavior. You might notice him overthinking his words, stumbling in conversation, or laughing a little too much. All subtle indicators that his emotions are tangled with fear and affection. This kind of nervousness is different from social anxiety or shyness. It's targeted. It only shows up around you, and that's what makes it so telling. His nerves aren't a flaw. They're a reflection of how much you mean to him. Deep down, he's falling for you, and every awkward moment is actually his heart trying to find the courage to speak. 2. He remembers the little things you say. When a man is falling for you but too afraid to confess his feelings, he often shows it through his attention to detail, especially by remembering the little things you say. These aren't just casual memories like your favorite color or where you went to school. They're the small, seemingly insignificant comments you make that he holds on to because they matter to him. Maybe you once mentioned your favorite snack, a childhood memory, or a random dream you had, and weeks later, he brings it up naturally, as if it's been sitting in his mind the whole time. This kind of behavior reveals emotional investment. He's not just listening to respond. He's listening because he genuinely cares. When someone remembers tiny details about you, it means they're paying close attention, even when you don't realize it. It's not about impressing you with grand gestures. It's about showing you, in quiet ways, that your words matter and you're important to him. Often, men who are too scared to express their feelings directly will express them through actions like this. They might not have the courage to say, "I like you," out loud, but they'll remember what time your meeting is, the way you like your coffee, or that you were feeling down last week. These subtle moments of thoughtfulness are his way of staying connected to you, not just as a friend, but as someone who's slowly but surely taking up space in his heart. 3. He looks at you when he thinks you're not noticing. When a man is secretly falling for you but too afraid to say it, his eyes often betray what his words don't. One of the most telling signs is when he looks at you when he thinks you're not paying attention. It's in those quiet, unguarded moments, when you're speaking to someone else, focused on your phone, or lost in your thoughts, that his true feelings surface through lingering glances. These aren't the casual looks friends give. They're deeper, more searching, filled with emotion he hasn't yet found the courage to express. He watches you not out of habit, but because he's drawn to you, fascinated by how you move, how you speak, how you simply exist. His gaze may be soft, almost vulnerable, like he's trying to memorize something he's afraid to lose, and when you catch him, he might quickly look away, pretend he wasn't staring, or act like he was just zoning out. But the truth is, that moment of eye contact is a small window into his heart. This behavior speaks of admiration, curiosity, and emotional depth. He may be scared to speak his feelings out loud, fearing rejection, or the risk of changing the dynamic between you two. So instead, he lets his eyes do the talking, quietly, from a distance. In those silent stares, there's a world of affection he's not yet ready to reveal. But it's there, honest and undeniable, in the way he sees you when he thinks you don't see him. 4. He supports you without asking for anything in return. When a man is falling for you, but hasn't gathered the courage to admit it, one of the purest signs is the way he supports you without expecting anything in return. His actions speak louder than any confession ever could. Whether you're facing challenges at work, going through emotional stress, or chasing a personal goal, he's there, quietly and consistently, offering his time, help, and encouragement. He doesn't make a show of it, and he certainly doesn't keep score. His support comes from a place of genuine care. This kind of emotional investment is rare, especially when it's given freely. He doesn't help you just to win your attention or affection. He does it because your happiness and well-being matter to him. Because seeing you succeed, smile, or simply feel better brings him a quiet sense of joy. It might be in small ways, checking in on you after a hard day, offering to help with something before you even ask, or just listening to you vent without turning the conversation back to himself. What makes this sign powerful is the lack of condition behind it. He's not waiting for you to notice him, praise him, or return the favor. He's simply being present, not to impress, but to care. And often, this kind of quiet, unconditional support is how someone in love tries to be close when words feel too risky. It's love in action, wrapped in patience, kindness, and silent hope. 5. He gets jealous, but tries to hide it. When a man is falling for you, but hasn't found the courage to admit it. Jealousy becomes one of the emotions he can't fully control, even if he tries to hide it. This kind of jealousy isn't loud or toxic. It's subtle, quiet, and often masked with humor or indifference. But underneath the surface, it reveals how much he cares. If you mention another guy, talk about someone you're close to, or seem interested in someone else, you might notice a slight shift in his mood. His tone may change, his replies might get shorter, or he might suddenly seem distracted. He won't directly express that he's bothered, because doing so would mean exposing feelings he's not ready to share. So instead, he might joke about it, change the subject, or act like it doesn't matter at all. But inside, there's a discomfort he can't fully suppress, not because he's possessive, but because he's emotionally invested. The thought of someone else getting close to you stirs something deep in him that he hasn't come to terms with yet. What makes this sign so revealing is the effort he puts into pretending he's unaffected. It's that effort, the need to hide it, that actually proves how strongly he feels. Jealousy in this quiet form isn't about control. It's about fear. Fear of losing something he never had the courage to claim. And that fear often says more than any words could. 6. He texts you often, but never makes the first move. When a man is falling for you but is afraid to admit it, one of the most telling behaviors is how he stays consistently present in your life, especially through texts, but rarely initiates anything bold. He'll reply quickly, keep the conversation going, and show genuine interest in what you're saying, yet he holds back from making the first real move. This isn't because he's not interested. In fact, it's quite the opposite. He's cautious, unsure of how you feel, and afraid that making his feelings obvious might risk the bond you already share. You'll notice he's always around, reacting to your stories, sending memes, asking how your day went, or following up on something you mentioned days ago. These small, frequent interactions are his way of staying close to you, without crossing a line he's not sure he's allowed to cross. He might wait for you to message first, but once you do, he gives you his full attention. This behavior is a delicate balance between desire and fear. He wants more, but he's holding himself back. There's vulnerability in this silence. He's likely scared of rejection, or worried that showing too much too soon could push you away. So instead, he plays it safe. Always there, always supportive, always responding, but never quite daring to take that one step further. And yet, his consistent presence is his silent confession. In every text he sends back, he's hoping you'll somehow see what he's too afraid to say. 7. He listens to you more than he talks. When a man is secretly falling for you, but hasn't found the courage to express it, one of the clearest signs lies in how attentively he listens to you. He isn't just hearing your words, he's genuinely engaged, focused on what you're saying, often placing your thoughts and feelings above his own. You might notice that he rarely dominates the conversation or shifts the topic to himself. Instead, he asks follow-up questions, remembers details, and gives you space to speak freely, as if every word you say matters deeply to him. This kind of listening is different from casual politeness. It's quiet, steady presence, the kind where he leans in just a little when you speak, nods without interrupting, and makes you feel truly heard. He might not offer immediate advice or dramatic reactions. His goal isn't to fix your problems or impress you with solutions. His goal is to understand you, to connect with what's on your mind, and to make you feel seen without needing to steal the spotlight. What makes this so meaningful is the emotional investment behind it. He listens more than he talks, not because he has nothing to say, but because his feelings are wrapped up in yours. In those moments, your voice becomes the center of his world, even if he's too afraid to say why. His silence is full of care, of unspoken affection, and of a hope that just being there for you might someday be enough. 8. He cancels plans for you. When a man is falling for you but hasn't admitted it yet, his priorities quietly start to shift. And one of the most revealing signs is when he cancels other plans just to be there for you. It might not always be obvious or dramatic. Maybe he gives up a night out with friends, reschedules something he was looking forward to, or adjusts his day just so he can spend time with you or be available when you need someone. He won't necessarily say, "I did this for you," but his actions speak volumes. This choice reflects more than just flexibility. It shows emotional value. Without directly expressing his feelings, he's showing you that your presence, your time, and your needs matter to him. He may not yet have the confidence to express how much he cares, but the quiet sacrifices he makes are signs of someone deeply invested. Even if you don't ask him to change his plans, he'll do it willingly, often without telling you what he gave up. Importantly, he won't make a big deal out of it because he's not doing it to earn praise. He's doing it because being with you feels more meaningful than anything else he could be doing. When a man cancels plans for you consistently, not out of obligation but choice, it's because, in his heart, you're becoming the priority. And sometimes, love speaks loudest through the things we quietly give up. 9. He opens up to you slowly over time. When a man is falling for you but feels too afraid to express it openly, he often begins to open up emotionally, but in small, careful steps. Instead of rushing to share everything at once, he lets you into his world slowly, piece by piece. This gradual unfolding isn't because he doesn't trust you, but because his feelings are real and vulnerable, and he's afraid of getting hurt or misunderstood. For him, revealing his inner thoughts and past experiences is a way of showing intimacy, without directly saying, "I have feelings for you." At first, his conversations might stay surface level, casual, and light, but over time, you'll notice him sharing more personal details, maybe about his childhood, his fears, his struggles, or things he doesn't tell just anyone. He might open up during late-night talks, in quiet moments, or when he feels emotionally safe around you. Each time he shares a deeper part of himself, it's his way of building trust and testing whether you feel the same connection. This slow opening up is a powerful sign, because men who aren't emotionally invested don't usually make that effort. If he's letting you see the sides of him that are normally hidden, it means your presence feels safe, meaningful, and important to him. He may not say the words out loud yet, but through every small confession, he's letting you into his heart, one guarded door at a time. 10. He compliments you in unique ways. When a man is falling for you but is too afraid to confess his feelings, one of the ways his affection reveals itself is through the unique and thoughtful compliments he gives you. These aren't the typical surface-level remarks like, "You look nice," or "That dress is pretty." Instead, he notices things about you that most people overlook, and when he compliments you, it feels personal, sincere, and deeply observant. He might mention the way your laugh lights up a room, how you make people feel comfortable, or how driven and passionate you are about something specific. These kinds of compliments come from someone who's paying close attention, someone who sees not just how you look, but who you are. He may phrase them in subtle or playful ways, careful not to make things too obvious, especially if he's unsure of how you'd respond. But his words will carry warmth, admiration, and a kind of quiet respect that stands out. He's not trying to flatter you for attention. He's expressing appreciation for the qualities he genuinely values in you. This form of admiration is often more revealing than any big romantic gesture. It shows that he sees you clearly and fully, and that he's emotionally tuned in to who you are beyond the surface. In each unique compliment, there's an unspoken message. He's falling for you, not just the way you look, but the way you exist. 11. He's protective of you, even in small ways. When a man is falling for you but hasn't expressed it yet, One of the most natural and heartfelt ways it shows is through his protectiveness, especially in the little things. This kind of care doesn't always look dramatic or obvious. It's often subtle, quiet, and easy to miss unless you're paying attention. He might walk on the side of the street closest to traffic, check in to make sure you got home safely, or gently step in when someone is making you uncomfortable. These small actions reflect something deeper than friendship. They reflect concern, attachment, and a growing sense of emotional responsibility. He's not trying to control you or take over. He simply wants to make sure you're okay. His protectiveness is rooted in care, not ego. Even when he's silent about how he feels, his actions speak for him. He notices when you're tired, when something's bothering you, or when someone treats you unfairly. And he steps in quietly, not to impress you, but because your well-being genuinely matters to him. What makes this sign so meaningful is that he often doesn't even realize he's doing it. It's instinctual. When someone becomes important to you, their safety, peace, and happiness naturally become a priority. So even if he's holding back his feelings in words, every protective gesture, no matter how small, is a sign that his heart is already involved. He may be silent, but in those moments, his love speaks louder than anything he could say. 12th, he makes future plans with you casually. When a man is quietly falling for you but hasn't admitted it yet, he often reveals his feelings in subtle ways. One of the clearest being how he casually includes you in his future plans. These aren't big, dramatic statements like, "We should move in together," but small offhand comments that show he's already imagining you in his life down the road. He might say things like, "We should try that restaurant sometime," or, "You'd love this place I'm planning to visit next summer," all while speaking as if it's obvious you'll be around. This casual future planning is his way of staying close to you without crossing any lines that might feel too forward. It's comfortable, non-threatening, and often laced with humor or lightness. But underneath, it holds a deeper meaning. He's thinking long-term. He's imagining experiences, adventures, and everyday moments with you still in the picture. And he doesn't just say these things to anyone, only to someone he values, trusts, and hopes will be a part of what comes next. What makes this behavior stand out is its consistency. He may not declare his love directly, but he includes you in the timeline of his life like it's the most natural thing. That quiet, effortless inclusion is his way of telling you that you're not just part of his present, you're part of the future he hopes for, even if he's not quite ready to say it out loud. 13. His friends know about you. When a man is falling for you, but hasn't yet confessed it, a strong sign of his feelings is that his friends already know who you are. Even if he hasn't said anything to you directly, he's talking about you when you're not around, and that says a lot. His friends might mention your name in passing, tease him when you're brought up, or seem unusually aware of your likes, your job, or things you've done together. That's because he's shared those details with them, probably more than once. This kind of behavior reveals that you're not just a casual part of his life. You're someone important to him, someone who stays on his mind even when you're not there. Most people don't talk about someone frequently unless they matter deeply to them. And if he's the kind of person who normally keeps things to himself, the fact that you've made it into his conversations with his inner circle is a strong indicator that his feelings go beyond friendship. It's also possible that he hasn't told them directly, "I like her," but his friends can sense it from how often he brings you up, how he speaks about you, or how much attention he gives you. When a guy involves his closest friends, it means he sees you as someone who might become a real part of his life. Even if his words haven't admitted it yet, his social world has already started to reflect how he feels. 14. He gets quiet or awkward when the topic of feelings comes up. When a man is falling for you but hasn't built up the courage to express it, his behavior often shifts noticeably when the topic of emotions or relationships comes up, especially if it involves you. He might be talkative and comfortable in general, But the moment the conversation turns toward feelings, love, or anything personal, he suddenly becomes quiet, awkward, or visibly uncomfortable. This change in energy isn't random. It's a direct reflection of how much emotional weight that topic carries for him. He might change the subject, laugh nervously, or give vague responses when asked about what he feels or whether he likes someone. In group settings, if someone teases the two of you or hints that there might be something more, he might get flustered or try to play it off, but his body language often gives him away, avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or suddenly going silent. These moments of discomfort aren't because he doesn't care, but because he cares too much and doesn't know how to express it safely. Feelings make him vulnerable, and that's something he may not be ready to face. He's afraid of being rejected, of saying too much too soon, or of exposing emotions that could shift the dynamic between you. So instead, he hides behind awkward silence or jokes, hoping you won't push further. But in those quiet, uneasy pauses, there's often more honesty than he can put into words, the kind that reveals just how deeply he's starting to fall. 15. He shows up when you need him the most. When a man is falling for you but hasn't confessed it yet, one of the most meaningful signs is his ability to show up exactly when you need him most. He may not always say the right words or make grand gestures, but when life gets tough, when you're overwhelmed, upset, or just feeling low, he's there, not out of obligation, but because he truly cares. He might cancel his own plans, drop what he's doing, or quietly offer support without needing to be asked. His presence becomes a steady comfort, even if he doesn't fully understand what you're going through. This kind of reliability is rare, especially when it's consistent and unspoken. He may not say, "I'm here because I have feelings for you," but the timing of his support says it all. He seems to know when something's wrong, even when you're trying to hide it. And when others pull away, he steps closer, without expecting praise, attention, or anything in return. What makes this so powerful is the emotional safety it creates. He becomes the person you can rely on, not just during the good times, but in your most vulnerable moments. And while he might still keep his feelings guarded, his actions reveal what his words don't, that your happiness, comfort, and peace genuinely matter to him. In showing up when it counts, he's doing what love often does best, quietly proving itself without needing to be announced.